Yo, what's good, guys? I got an OU match for you guys here today. I'm trying to get back into OU. I started playing it and then I just stopped because when I started playing singles, it was the Genesect meta and I hated that. But anyways, long story short, this is a team I kind of based around Calm Mind mono attacking Latias. Originally, this was a Sun team and I used Latias as my rain check. So I had Calm Mind, Refresh, Recover, and Dragon Pulse because basically it could set up on most things that, try to toxic Latias and wear it down because Latias is kind of a problem for Rain to deal with. But after a while, I was like, hey, it might work better on Rain, and I just made this Rain stall team because, I don't know, that's my playstyle. So anyways, go through the team real quick. Like I just said, my custom Latias spread, it's got max HP, max defense, nothing really fancy. Standard Tentacruel with Toxic Spites, I'm definitely thinking of changing it up to Toxic. Scarf Polytoad, the same one Mac uses on his Azukill team. Standard Spiking Ferrothorn, I have Gyro Ball and Power Whip as well. Chansey is the same one I use for my Ubers team, which is max defense, max special defense with Soft Boiled Wish, Seismic Toss, there we go, and Toxic, and then the offensive pivot Landorus just to kind of give a little oomph and give me my Stealth Rocks, because again, this is a stall team, I want that residual. But anyways, if you're looking at my opponent's team, he's kind of got some standard sand going on. Not really the standard sand team that you see nowadays, but definitely got some threats there. Rotom Wash, definitely going to be an obnoxious thing, especially if it is a choiced variant, because if it tricks off its Scarf or its Specs, whichever it may be, that can really cripple something on my team. Breloom, also going to be a bit of a problem, just because Breloom kind of hits this whole team for neutral, so I definitely have to keep my Latias around and my Landorus to try to hopefully use Intimidate. And Latios, depending if it specs or not, manageable, but could also be a bit of a threat because if it specs, it can just wallop through my Chansey and potentially trick its Eviolite away. So I don't want that. I want to keep Chansey safe because Chansey's gonna be taking hits from that thing. So anyways, just looking at his overall team, I figured my best lead out would be Landorus. Even if he wants to lead with Rotom Wash, I do have ways of handling that with my Tentacruel and my Latias. But anyways, he leads out with Breloom. I know something has to go to sleep, so I'm going to choose my Tentacruel because looking at his team, it looks like he's not going to get much more than Stealth Rocks up. So I wasn't too worried because this team, as you can see, kind of resists and doesn't really care much for taking rocks damage. But he's going to go for the low sweep as I switch into my Landorus. Gets a crit, just kind of annoying if anything, doesn't really matter to be honest, as I'm just going to go for my rocks here because I want to start getting that Stealth Rocks damage because they're definitely going to play an important role in the match. So switching my Ferrothorn, I know the Will-O-Wisp is inevitable, so that's kind of annoying, but not much I can do. But he is going to go for the Volt Switch, as he is going to bring in the Breloom here. I think I just went for the Gyro Ball. It doesn't do anything because I'm burned, but thankfully because I am slow, because I'm a Ferrothorn, I'm still fine. So I believe I'm just switching to my Latias now, knowing he's going to go for the Low Sweep, Mach Punch, whatever he wants to do. He could potentially set up a Swords Dance too. I actually don't think we ever find out what his fourth move is, but I know the T-Tar is coming in. I'm definitely scared of that thing, especially if it's Choice Banded. It's definitely going to start ripping holes through my Latias, and I'm thinking if I can get rid of this thing and the Latios, I can use my Latias for late game sweep, but I do see leftovers, so that makes me a little less worried about it, and pretty much confirms that he has a specially defensive T-Tar, and I know he's not going to want to stay in and take an EQ, so I'm just going to go for the U-turn as he brings in the Gliscor, and now I bring in my Politoed. And this Politoed, ladies and gentlemen, is like MVP of the battle. Basically, every time Politoed comes in, something has to just basically either get hit hard or die, essentially, because as you're going to see later, Politoed puts him in that position. But anyways, Rotom Wash in. I don't want to take a Volt Switch. Go out to Ferrothorn as he's going to Volt Switch. Bring in the Breloom. I am going to keep my Ferrothorn around pretty much as Death Fodder because just looking at his team, it doesn't look like Ferrothorn's just going to have a whole lot of opportunity to try to, get in, get Leech Seed recovery. Not only that, but I am burned. So, yeah, burned Ferrothorn's a half-dead Ferrothorn. So he switches out, goes into his T-Tar, gets hit with a U-turn real quick, and I'm going to bring back in my Politoed, and once again, he's in the position where he's kind of forced to put something out there. Rotom Wash gets 2-hit KO'd from the range of HP it's at, as he is going to bring in his Latios. He is going to get the burn. Now, that burn is definitely going to come into play in the next couple turns, but anyways, I'm going to fodder off my Ferrothorn. He does end up missing the Draco. Honestly, not a big deal, as you're going to see later. And he's going to switch out now. He's going to go out into his Breloom. I think I went for the Gyro Ball again, just in case he did want to stay in and think he could take me out with the Draco, because this Ferrothorn is a little bit more physically defensive than specially defensive, because I do have a Chansey. So I'm going to go into my Landorus now. And again, I just have the drop on this Breloom because my Tentacruel's asleep. He can't put me to sleep, so I don't have anything to worry about. And once again, I am just going to go for the U-turn, as he is going to bring in the Gliscor. And once again, I'm just going to bring in Politoed, and I have no reason not to Scald. Breloom gets 2-hit KO'd from the range of HP that it's at. And Latios will die to Scald plus Stealth Rocks plus Burn, so that's where that Burn definitely comes into play. And he's going to choose to bring in his Rotom Wash here. And now, it does about 28, 30-ish%, but he's at 29%. I really didn't want to risk min-max damage rolls because I know my Politoed is a huge threat to him at this rate. So I'm just going to make the safe switch, and I'm going to go out into my Chansey as he is going to bring in the Terrakion, but that's okay. I've got the hard Terrakion check here as my Landorus Therium for, as he's just going to go straight for the close combat, obviously, because I'm the defensive set. I can take those rather nicely, and not only that, but I now get some nice switch-and-ish going on, so I can definitely go for a U-turn here. So once again, he brings in the Gliscor. Again, Politoed. Everything, he is now forced into a position where something has got to go. Something has got to get popped with a Scald and pretty much die. So he's going to go for the Protect because that's all Gliscors do is Protect stall. And right here, he's going to choose to sack his Latios. I'd question that play a little bit. Latios definitely could have been a big threat, especially because I didn't see what kind of set it was. Again, if that thing was Specs, it definitely would have been a problem. But anyways, I've been switching in my Landorus the whole time, so I figured now he was going to go for the Bullet Seed, which is why I brought out my Latios, and I have nothing to worry about whatsoever. And here, I do make a rather foolish play. I stay in Dragon Pulse. I thought that the Tyranitar might die from the Dragon Pulse, but at that point I actually forgot it was like specially defensive T-Tar. I thought it was offensive, so definitely a dumb play on my part. But thankfully, because he is specially defensive, his Pursuit won't be able to kill me off. So I'm going to bring in my Ferrothorn. He's just going to hit me with a Fire Blast. So basically Ferrothorn did nothing this whole match. So that's where the Draco Miss kind of didn't matter earlier. So anyways, I got a free switch into my Politoed. Again, something's got to die. Rotom Wash is going to easily be knocked out after Stealth Rocks and the Scald here. And I believe now he chooses to bring in his Breloom. I was really iffy to whether or not a Scald would KO from that range, so I am just going to make the safe switch into my Landorus. And he's just going to hit me with the Bullet Seed. Kind of obnoxious, but, you know, it's Bullet Seed 2 to 3 times. Whichever. I'm kind of glad he didn't get the 5 times, because with my luck, it would have happened. But anyways, I'm going to hard switch here just in case he was carrying the Mach Punch or something. I don't remember if I got the Intimidate drop on him. I wasn't looking. But anyways, I go out in my Tentacruel in hopes of waking up, because I still know even though Breloom's right there, I can still wall Breloom. So, Gliscor's in, Gliscor versus Chansey. He goes for Toxic. I don't see the point in that because Chansey does have Natural Cure, and I do have Recovery. All Chanseys pretty much have Recovery, so I'm just going to go for the Wish here. Pass it off into my Latias just in case, again, I do need this for late game. Because I do have Refresh, I can get rid of the Toxic later. And anyways, at this point, I know he can't touch my Latias, so I'm actually going to pull a double switch out into my Landorus, knowing he's probably going to want to go into T-Tar to Pursuit Trap me, since Terrakion can't really touch me, and Breloom, again, can't really touch me. So he's going to double out into his Gliscor, as I'm just going to go for the U-turn. And I'm going to bring in Politoed, and again, something has got to go at this point. So he's going to go for the Protect. I hate it when people do that. They just go for Protect, like... I understand that you're trying to figure out what I'm going to lock myself into, but it's rain boosted and stab, and you have nothing on your team that's going to take it. I'm obviously going to go for the Scald, so go for Scald, get a pointless burn there, as next turn I will just be able to take him out with a Scald. If he had Mach Punch, he definitely should have Mach Punched me, because then this Terrakion would have been much scarier, but he didn't, so I'm going to go out on my Tentacruel. I'm pretty sure he's going to want to go for the close combat, and I did want to keep my Landorus around just in case, you know, I need it for his T-Tar later. But anyways... he's going to switch out here. He's going to go out into his Gliscor. I'm actually going to try and stay in here and wake up, because I definitely know, even at this point in the game, even though it's really late game, Tentacruel can definitely be a valuable asset to my team. And thankfully, my Tentacruel is well trained, and he does wake up this turn and go for the Scald. And because I am physically defensive, I know I can take one Earthquake, so I have nothing to worry about here, as I'm just going to go again for the Scald and almost take this thing out. Kind of frustrating. Now, I don't know if you guys saw before, but his EQ did exactly 54%, so I'm forced to go for the Protect here to guarantee that I can live one. But if I remember correctly, I think I just ended up switching out. I think I wanted it still just in case, you know, he kept his Terrakion around. I think that was my reasoning for switching there, but he's at a point here where I know even if he does switch in T-Tar, he'll die to 2 Dragon Pulses, so I have nothing to worry about, so I'm just going to go for 1 Dragon Pulse. It does 13%, so I was actually really iffy about staying in, but then I remembered how much the Pursuit damage did from earlier, so I know I could easily take 2 Pursuits, but I am going to just switch out into my Politoed. I didn't really care much for my Latias at that point, I guess, but it's basically game at this point, and he just forfeited because he knew that there was absolutely nothing he could do against this Politoed. So, yeah, that's Politoed. That's why Politoed's in the thumbnail, okay? Politoed's too powerful. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys like OU. I don't know. My OU battles tend to get the most views, and I don't know. I feel like I should start getting into other tiers more seriously, not just play Ubers a lot, because that was like the only tier I really played seriously before this. But yeah, I guess I'll try to get Wi-Fi matches with this team because I've been laddering a lot with it and it's definitely been doing well. To be honest, the match you just saw, that's like a typical match with this team. It normally does end up in that kind of lopsided victory. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you guys around. So bye guys.